Hey, you're in the garage with Vic Ferrari. Got a new sandrail, got rid of the Manx. Somebody really liked it, and I really liked the money. So I sold it, bought this four-seater sandrail with a 2276 motor, dual carbs, and got it for quite a bit cheaper. So got a new one, made a profit. This one's going to be a lot more off-road. It's got 22 inches of ground clearance in the back, 20 in the front. So let's check her out. Got some new tires for it. And I've also got the sandrail smooth wall or smooth surface sand tires. Picked up a set of 33 1250s for the back, and I'm awaiting rims right now. They're on back order. In the meantime, I replaced the cheesy little aluminum piece with a nice skateboard wheel, readjusted the distance for my feet, readjusted the clutch because they didn't have that correct, and the cable was way out of whack. So back here, this piece here was drawn all the way in, and it was leaning this cable and giving it the wrong pull. So a lot of the times when your carbs aren't working perfect, you really just got to do one step at a time. So I unhooked it, made sure the carb is working, unhooked this side, made sure the carb is working, hooked up that side, made sure that this bar was working, crossbar. Then I hooked up this side, made sure it was working and that they were adjusted perfectly even. Then I started working the cable to see if there was any drag or binds in the cable, and there was. Where it passed under the gas tank, they had it coming over and really bound up in this area. So I moved it around until I found an area that it liked. Then I had to make a little cut here so that this could lean further up because it was being pinned back. And I leaned it up, just made a cut out of the framing of the bolt. And then back here I just put a spot weld to hold it right where it wanted to be. As you would hit the throttle, it would move and it would actually limit your throttle. So I took that movement out, I did everything, and now this thing just literally works smooth as glass. When I started, they had a big giant spring going from here to here because that thing would hardly even move. And you couldn't hardly push it with your foot. Now you can literally you couldn't hardly push it with your foot. And now you can full throttle it with just, one finger. So a lot of things, if you take a few minutes and work through them, you can make such a nicer car. So the other thing that I've been doing was I added in the heavy duty trailing arm, put on new shocks, a limiting straps, and when I had to weld the mounts and the limiting strap mount, it had no choice but to melt my wires in there. So I had to pull my wires, and when I did that, I wanted to make sure that I was able to pull them back through. So I purchased I had it. Oh, there it is. That's a noisy old mini bike. So I purchased this cable over at Home Depot. You can buy this. This stuff here is maybe like a 1/16 of an inch or so. It's very small, but it can hold a bend if you put it on. And that's really important, but it has to be super flexible at the same time. And curves such as this one, ow, hit my knee on that. Oh, that was really rough. So my wires come in up here, they come through the weld and go into this bar, and they go from there into here, and they go two directions, that way, and the third is up here to go to my antenna. So had to feed this in and put that bend so that as I came into it, I could turn it and decide which way I wanted to go. And then it's stiff enough to stay straight, but soft enough to turn really sharp corners. And then it's also slick. And as you send it through, you're gonna just wanna twist it with your fingers. If it gets stuck, you twist it, and that bend will unhook off of whatever it's hooked on, and it'll keep on going. And I was able to fish this heavy duty wire instead of running individual wires. Back in the day, you had incandescent light bulbs that ate a lot of power. I'm replacing all these with LEDs that eat virtually no amperage. So I'm getting rid of all this heavy duty wire, and I'm going to this wire that, let me see if I can strip this off of here. Just kind of hang you right there for a second. Well, that's not looking real promising. Hang on, let me find a set of covers. Alright, so we'll just snip that off. So what we're looking at is this stuff is at Home Depot. $10 for 20 feet. Actually, I take that back. It's $20 for 50 feet. So 50 feet of wire, 20 bucks. You know, I'm thinking I'm wrong on that too. I'll just show it to you. So it's 24 gauge, 4 pair, meaning 8 wires at 100 feet is 20 bucks. And it looks super small, but it's solid core, and it will easily handle the voltage and a little bit of amperage for the LED light bars even. Say you got something that takes a little bit more amperage, you can actually just twist two of them together and twist them up, and now you'll have, you know, easily enough power. But this gives you 8 wires, and that's awesome for driving lights, brake light, turn signal, an additional LED bar, and maybe your whip antenna. You can have all on separate wires. So that's kind of cool. You can also do, you know, what I'm doing, I'm going to do a left and right turn signal. I'm going to do a brake light that's separate from the turn signals because I don't want to add too much weird stuff. I just want to run off a toggle switch. So I'm going to run the brake light off the switch. I'm going to run these off a toggle, and then I'm going to run a KC down on the bottom and a KC light bar up on the top. And then I'm going to run my rear tail lights. So you got plenty of wires and a good way to fish them through. So we'll do some more video later. Have a great day.